The Conservative MP, Dan Poulter, who has been a minister, has defected to Labour and says that he's going to sit with Labour on the Labour benches until the next election, and then he will quit. He worked part-time as a doctor. He is scathing about the Conservative support for the NHS, and he's been thinking about quitting the Conservatives for the last few months, having originally been elected in 2010. The strain on the NHS is the thing that has turned him. He's a consultant psychiatrist. He served as a health minister for a while during the coalition. He said, "I found it increasingly difficult to look my NHS colleagues in the eyes, my patients in the eye, my constituents in the eye with a good conscience." He said that the party has stopped valuing public services. The difficulty for the Conservative Party is that the party I was elected into valued public services. It had a compassionate view about supporting the disadvantaged in society. I think the Conservative Party today is in a very different place. He says he has no animus towards Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, but the country needs a general election as soon as possible. Says that Labour and Sir Keir Starmer could be trusted to run the NHS in the country. He says it's time to end the Conservative chaos. Keir Starmer says it's time to end the Conservative chaos, turn back the page and get Britain's future back. It's a very rare occurrence. The last time somebody crossed the floor was Christian Wakeford, who left the Conservative Party for Labour in 2022. Lee Anderson, of course, was thrown out of the Conservative Party and then joined Reform. That's hardly a defection. That's that's more of a confession. But Poulter is, I think, will be a stinging blow to the Prime Minister and to the Conservative Party as a whole, because he's speaking the truth, and because he is part of the inner circle. But basically he's a one-nation Conservative who has recognised that the Conservative Party as it exists today has lurched so far to the right it's no longer recognisable as the party that he joined. I sympathise, I understand, and it comes at about the right time, because it demonstrates absolutely that Rishi's flagship Rwanda plan, which is something that he spoke out against as an absurd plan in the past when he was Chancellor. Now he's mouthing the words of somebody else, and whether he believes it or not, he is the figurehead, he is the person steering this boat, and he's steering it into the rocks. And whether his Rwanda scheme takes off, whether there are planes or whether there are not, it's a ghastly scheme, and it exposes the underbelly of the Conservative Party to the sort of contempt that I don't think has been known in my lifetime. This is so much worse than the poll tax, and it shows a lack of humanity, which is deeply regrettable, and there's nothing redeeming